Raring to go.
I think there's quite a few things that people would like to talk about, that's for sure. Hey, Raj. Looking ever so beautiful as ever.
Let me get my other glasses out.
Oh my goodness, look at all of you. Like, wow. Like, Michelle has got such gorgeous volume at the front of her hair. Like, I love when you can see that. Like, I'm such a fan because Angie always has that. Like, you know, like at the top, that volume. Angie normally has that. Always like,
what's a Johnny Bravo?
Angie's
The Johnny Bravo
got
wave.
crazy hair at the moment.
I am seeing that V is all over again being tangled. Like, I was literally thinking about you today while washing dishes because I was thinking about your hair and going like, flowers gleam and glow. And I come on you today and you've got the braid going on.
Now it's red. Yes, we were at the hospital today, so I just did this to keep it out of the way. Yeah. This is how I sleep. This is how I sleep.
It's protective hairstyle for the
after
wind.
After you washed your hair and gone through the whole process and everything, and
well, I wash it, I then exfoliate it, I then rinse it, I then condition it, I then separate it, I then rinse that again, I then wash myself, rinse my hair again, then I come out, I put it in a towel, and then I let that just take all that wet moisture out. I then take it out, I then lightly brush it, and then I oil it.
That is actually so good. If you oil when your hair is damp, that actually seals
it locks in the moisture.
Hydration. And also the reason why your hair is so luxurious is because that constant stimulation of the scalp, you're getting the blood flow there, which helps the hair growth. So V knows what's up. V knows what's up.
This is the face of someone she's the this because she uses conditioner.
Only on the end. Only on the ends. It doesn't touch my roots.
No, I go the luxury way all over because look at these short. Yeah.
I love.
It'll get there. It'll get there. Use some rosemary water. You can use rosemary water with a little bit of spearmint. Put it into a bottle of distilled water, and then whenever you are coming out of the shower or before you go for a shower, you spray it in your roots. You just do a bit of a like a massage. It heals your scalp. It protects your scalp from bacteria. It kills the bacteria, and it'll also help hair growth.
So I got that hair oil from that.
Yeah, I got that hair oil recipe from Raj. I'm completely mesmerized by her hair. So whether it's my leg hair or my head hair, one of these days I'm gonna look like that.
It's getting it.
If you're aiming for leg hair like me, my mom said to my dad, was it earlier today, like, you know, she's competing with you. But there's a reason. For one, I have arthritis in my spine. So if things happen to the legs, like beyond bathing, we're lucky. But in addition to that, when the beauty standard is prepubescent and childlike, as a woman, I have leg hair and I'm not ashamed of that because I'm an adult. Like, who decided? Who
Put
decided?
it this way, when you're a bit older, that goes out the window anyway because you just can't be asked.
I cannot wait.
You see, the thing with us is my hubby is a Star Wars fan. So I'm making his fantasies come true. It's not
Wookiee all the way.
But it's the Wookiee.
I love it. Kaz is like, when I grow up, I want to be Kaz.
Yeah.
You know what?
Well,
as long as you're happy with how you are, with what you do, you know, if you want to have hair, don't want to have hair, shave it all off, do whatever. As long as you're happy, it's not hurting anyone else.
Well, that's what feminism is about. It's all about choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
To answer Michelle's... To answer Michelle's question, before we got stuck on the hair things, Mom is doing very well. We did another wound care today. We've now done 2 this month. She's doing very well. Mom thought they were going to take her stitches out. They're not. It is dissolvable stitches. So as it heals, it will dissolve. Very happy with her wound care. My husband has taken care of that like a champion. She's doing very well. to answer Michelle's question.
I'm so glad.
Yay!
I'm
I'm
so
so
glad.
happy.
Wonderful.
So you were going to ask something, Lee?
So sometimes people have reactions to stuff, like you can't shave. Like I can't shave, and I immediately get eczema and things like that. So when I was a esthetician, and it was my everything, I was the person who was waxing. Give me 15 minutes. Hollywood. So I had to find alternatives to remove my hair and things like that. And what was the thing that I used? Sugar wax. So it's just sugar,
Oh
lemon,
yes,
and
I
water.
love sugar wax.
I want to do
like a
that.
bomb. It's so worth it, especially when you were talking about the sores that you get in your hair and things like that, because you obviously have some sort of skin reaction to stuff, hence why you go through your routine and everything. Yeah, so people don't, so before you bully someone or say something to someone, and that's also something that I've realized, and this is where inclusivity comes in again. Just think, maybe that person has a condition, maybe they're disabled, maybe they don't know any better. So
100%.
yeah, I didn't know that, and I couldn't understand why I'm this hairy beast. Also lived my Star Wars fantasies, but you work around it, and that's also why I got into the beauty industry, to make women feel worthy again. Say, I will show you how beautiful you are. Let me show you, and they really have everything. It's just showing them that they do have it, because they don't see it.
That's the core of my business. That's the core of my business. I'm a makeup artist. I'm an image consultant. I can do lash tinting. I can do lash extensions. I can do fast fashion hair. I can do nails, makeup. What I do, and I've had a few clients when I was younger, they said to me, but why do you do the makeup the way you do? I says, you are already a gorgeous woman.
Yeah.
My job, my only job is to show you what you have. Once you see it,
that confidence just goes up. It's beautiful. I love seeing it.
That's the thing that gets so misunderstood in society, because you can say, oh, a person doesn't need this. Sure, they don't. But when I have my lashes done, I feel like I don't have to do anything else. I'm ready. When it comes to makeup as well, I remember, and this takes me back to like a decade ago. I'm not one that I grew up very boyish because of my elder brother, and so when I was younger, I didn't even own a dress.
I would never think
other
that.
than dances, I never wore makeup. And so when I had an incident of sexual harassment in the workplace, and I felt so weakened and fragile, and I had with HR, and my mother said to me, wear your red lipstick. That is your armor. And I kid you not, when I had that red lipstick on, I felt like I could walk into that meeting. And so it's, as you said, Lee, it's about how it makes you feel. It's about you. It's not about anybody else. And it's not even about their opinions, because do we need makeup? Maybe not. But if you like how you feel with it, then go for it. I mean, the other day, Lee had the gorgeous sparkles on. And I love that, because it's just this form of expression. It's like if you have your nails done, and every time you look at it, it makes you smile. That was worth every single cent. It was so worth it.
If I could give my 5 cents here, right? I think it has a lot to do, and this is just me, with the way that you were taught to be a girl when you were younger. Because for me, it was said that at least I'm the smart one because I shouldn't be the pretty one. And I am pretty, but I did not learn how to do makeup until I was an adult. And that might have been an easier process if it was gently nudged into,
gradually.
Gradually put into the structure. But my mom, for example, she also didn't wear a lot of makeup. So I can just imagine what she was taught when she was younger, or what happened to make sure that she didn't want to accentuate those type of things. So I think it's what Raj said. It is about making a choice, but it's also in the way that we teach our girls how to be feminine, or how to look after yourself, or self-care, or those type of things.
So, in terms of what you said, Kaz, it actually links with what Lee had said earlier about people, maybe they weren't taught. And I feel like this is something that's quite cultural and societal in nature, because not teaching a child or a younger person is actually a form of neglect, whether it comes to hygiene or grooming or makeup. I do feel like it is a form of neglect, because it's easy to just leave a child be, and then you grow up into adulthood and maybe you don't realize that you're supposed to wear deodorant, or that you're supposed to bathe more frequently than you do, but you weren't taught any better. And we see this a lot on social media. Moms that say, oh, they bathe their children once in 2 weeks and you just hand them some sanitizer in between, and they feel like it's normal. So teachers in turn start having these little supply kits in their classrooms because the kids don't know. And so it is very true that this neglect is something that's quite rampant, and a lot of the times you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, and it goes across all backgrounds as well. It doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're poor. It just, I mean, my family were very much, you are a girl, you dress appropriately. I never wore jeans until I was in my adulthood. Into my 20s, I never wore jeans. Never in a million years. It was not a woman thing.
It was not permitted. It was not acceptable.
And it's like your hair needs to be done, your makeup needs to be done, you need to look a certain way, you have to act a certain way. And my parents didn't bother about me thinking about like the bigger things, like, oh, you need to get your driver's license, you need to get this education, that was not thought about. It was basically just, well, she'll meet a nice guy and
she'll be taken care of.
Yeah.
We should invite her. We should tell her to go to the kitchen to help mom so that she can learn all the things.
No, my mom couldn't cook. My mom could not cook. My mother, it was microwave meals. Ding ding. Thank you very much. Or we ate out.
So it's so interesting, and that now you are the one that does the home cooked meal. I'm thinking of your gorgeous lasagna.
I love cooking.
But isn't it so interesting how we tend to contrast in this way? Because like if you for example, you grew up having these microwave meals or takeout and going out to eat, and now you provide your family with these like nourishing, wholesome, love in a dish type of meals.
I love to cook. I'd rather cook for people and then go sit in a swanky restaurant. I'd rather have a bunch of people around the house and just, have good food. That's it.
I've got a question here. I'm sorry. You go. I'll wait.
I love what Angela just said there, because I've had a few instances where friends or people that we are inviting over to our house, they come in and say, oh, but we don't want to eat too much. Now, my family cooks enough to feed a
You're a feeder.
military.
I'm a feeder.
Come to
And it's so funny because you love to feed in your home. When you're in your home, this is your space of warmth, of
community and care.
I kind of equate my house as a mother's womb. It's warm, it's inviting, it's nourishing, it's all those things. And when someone says that to me around my table, I don't take offense to it. I say, eat and be happy. Eat as much as you want and be happy. You have to be happy.
I'm like my way of... You're my guest. You're here.
Yeah.
Let me feed you. Let me look after you for a change.
Yeah.
It's like, for me, if I have someone over, like, it makes me so happy if they've enjoyed something, and then I get to pack it for them for when they go home. Because then it's like you get to enjoy it. And yes, the ice cream buckies, so that like that love just goes further. Kaz, you had a question.
Yes.
I'm just adding this. How do we discern if it's a good thing when you have someone that was not taught to feed someone and they just carry on the tradition? Because does that make her a lesser woman?
Not at all. No, not at all. No, I think everybody's got their own approach to things, and just because I like to cook doesn't mean anyone else likes to cook.
I hate cooking.
Maybe they give love in a different way.
So much so my husband cooks now. I don't cook anymore. I'm not allowed to cook. He says I make horrible food. I know I don't. It's just I have my set meals. I have things that I know I like, and I don't like hectic spicy or gourmet this or going a full Angela or Michelle. Like, I feel in school.
No, not Michelle.
No, Michelle. One time, long ago. I have to think about what to make with chicken fillets. I don't know what to do with this chicken fillet right now. And Angela was busy with something. I was also busy with something. She knows I'm getting excited. A little loosey-goosey. But I feel they should have trained us at school, like what to do, all the different things we can do with mince.
You know what? They did that to me, and it wasn't worth anything because it was. It wasn't what it should be, because not everyone in a household can afford those ingredients because they make you bring the ingredients into school, and not every child's family can afford that. Michelle, you wanted to say something.
Yes, sorry. Yes.
No, I also wanted to just make you feel better and tell you I hate to cook as well. And my husband came out of a similar situation as Angela, where his mom had like 3 meals. She only made those 3 meals, and it was like dry rice and pork chops type of thing. Very early on.
It sounds so appetizing.
Raj, your face.
I'm sorry, I was touching my balls.
That's abuse. That is abuse.
No, the thing is, the reason I'm asking is I love to cook as well, right? And I'm also a complete feeder, but my husband is also diabetic, so I need to cook special things.
Diabetic.
Right? There we go. So that is my way of taking care of my husband. But it was also a self-taught skill. So I'm thinking to myself, it's one thing to say that we go the opposite direction, which is completely true. But I do have a few friends where this is not a priority for them in order to be the person they want to be.
It's not their fault. They just didn't know any different.
Exactly.
And it's okay.
And it's because that's the thing. In their home, they were not taught to be a woman like this. So, and they didn't have any emotional connection to being
that's where it comes into.
Taking care of your family or those type of things.
I think also a lot of the feeder people, because I find this a lot in ethnic backgrounds, that where they don't express affection, like people don't openly say I love you to their kids or to each other, or they're not like hugging people, the food becomes a medium for that love. And so it's interesting the ways in which it can be so different. But at the same time, I think even if you were not taught to prioritize that or to have an emotional connection to it, it doesn't make you any less of a woman, because there's no way to be more woman or less woman. You're just a woman.
No, but the thing is, if you're not nurturing enough, then you are criticized for it. And I mean,
that is so true though, because it's a stereotypical idea.
Yeah. And this is my opinion. If you are a woman that takes care of the budget and you make sure things are getting paid on time and your electricity is not cut off, you are playing an important role in your children's lives. So I do feel that sometimes it's unfairly said that the women that do not do these type of things are not.
But if you look at it, right? If you look at chefs, majority are male.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my family my sister's husband and that were, my daughter's Michelin star trained, they had restaurants and blah, blah, blah. But as soon as you try to put a woman into the kitchen,
that's because our labor
it doesn't go down well.
Free.
But we have to be women in the homestead. Do you know what I mean? And it's double standards.
It's exactly what Raj is saying. It's exactly what Raj just said. It's free labor. I mean, I have my husband and I, we love to watch history documentaries, and on YouTube they've got a thing called Victorian Farm, Edwardian Farm, all those type of things. It's a BBC British history things. But the one thing that they did was wartime, World War One, World War Two, all the big calamities. And the one thing that is common through all is the free labor that the woman had to give.
Yes.
The free labor. That's where the woman was basically shackled in the kitchen. She was shackled in the kitchen because that's her place.
You see,
but then also, then they got involved with the war and they were making a lot of things for the war.
Exactly.
But then as soon as the war was over, it was like,
the men are back. The men are back.
So for me, the thing that I found, like two things I learned recently. One was about the fact that if you look at the so-called great men in society, in history, there was always a woman taking care of the admin. And I want you to think about the fact that it was believed that ADHD, people grew out of it. No, the men got married and a woman took over with all of that executive function, right? And the other thing is that women, it's not that women didn't have the right to work or that women didn't work to provide for themselves. It's that men prevented them from being able to provide for themselves.
Exactly.
It's not that you looked for a man to provide for you. You didn't have the chance because this is how it was considered you were chattel. You were their item, their property. That is why you take on their last name, like in the context of slavery. We see it in South Africa, right? Because if your last name is Williams or Peterson and you're from the Cape, that was your slave master's last name.
Yeah.
You were owned by him because that is why now you're Mrs. So-and-so, meaning you belong to him. You're his object.
But then you still look at today's day where they're still doing things like Lobola and stuff like that. And it's like, well, that still gives that context that they are owned. A woman is owned.
I was just thinking about that 16-year-old, well, the offers between a certain age or whatever. If she's 16, let's pretend that farmer now, that advert that's going around that he's putting out. She doesn't know anything about food. She doesn't know how to make food. She will have to get trained or this or that. And I know we spoke about it in the group that probably there is going to be parents out there who's going to be like, okay, come daughter, I'm going to sell you full of Lobola now. And I'm going to show you the main
wasn't
basics.
Wasn't it like R1 million?
Something around there. Yeah.
5.
That was to her. Yeah. 5 was to her, and I think R1 million was to the family.
Okay, but can I just mention something here? Once again, it feels like the responsibility comes down to the parents. Because if you teach your daughter to value her worth, what 16-year-old is not going to fight against going to the tracksuit man superhero? I mean, let's just consider this for a moment. At 16, I was already told I was rebelling and I didn't want to listen. And like every teenager, do you want to tell me a teenager that knows this is not going to work? She does not have to do this because her mother loves her enough and taught her the basics of being herself and having that self-worth in her. She's going to fight this. So, and I feel, this is horrible, I feel that some parents have these outdated notions that they put and reflect on their children, and they might not realize this, but it does condition them in a certain way to accept less than they should. And it's these
Because
kinds
you're
of
supposed to be
parents
so
that would
grateful
go
to
to
the
their
man.
16-year-old and say, yeah, exactly. You're not allowed to cut your hair because you're never going to get a man. You should not sit on the table because you never get a man.
Who's going to marry you if you behave like that?
Exactly. Cross your legs. Pollen's getting in. I just don't know.
I actually wanted to ask a question earlier for Michelle and Angela, who have daughters, okay? And we spoke about the makeup, and let's say the situation right now. So I'll ask both of you. You both have daughters. If they have to come to you and say, look, Mom, how do you put on lipstick? Or can you show me how to do this? Or what did you do? And your daughter's all grown up, she's about to get married and stuff. So how did you help her? And for example, Michelle, your daughter is only 11. Like, does she come to you and say, hey, Mom, I saw this makeup, or is she not there yet? That kind of thing.
She's there.
Are you ready for that? Oh, she's there. Oh, she's there.
Have you ever seen me wearing makeup?
No.
This is a problem for me. I've been a tomboy since the day I came out of my mother's womb.
What are you doing? So you're in the scenario now. What are you doing?
I have a sister-in-law who's very much into being very girly, and they have a field day. They've been painting each other's nails since Taylor was 2 years old. So I just assigned somebody else for that particular task.
And that is why it takes a village.
It does.
So with me, every Saturday from the age of like 11, me and my daughter would go into town every Saturday. We'd have breakfast. We would go to the beauty places because she would learn about her skin. She would learn about how to look after her skin. And it wasn't about the makeup. It was about looking after herself.
Wow.
That was it. And when she wanted to know about makeup and hair, I was the first in line to say, okay, let me show you. Because I've had every single hair color under the sun. I've done every single hairstyle, color, you name it, makeup. I grew up in the 80s.
So you were ready.
I mean, I was born ready. Do you know what I mean? V, you wanted to say something, my love. You put your hand up.
Yes, you did.
I'm going to go back to that gentleman. No, not that gentleman.
He's not a gentleman.
To the trusted person, yes.
Yes.
Trusted superhero.
There we go.
Superhero. Yeah.
What I got out of the video that was sent in the group, which was glaringly obvious, this man is already married. And his wife and him are looking for a third. So basically, all they want, they don't want cooking.
Is baby
They don't want that. There we go. We want a womb.
Yeah.
Because obviously, they couldn't have children. Now he wants to pass on his name.
There's other ways.
But it's also very scary because that's a child. So that also makes
And it's $5 million. He's going to give them $5 million. Not
that's
rand,
also human trafficking.
dollars.
You're not supposed to be able to buy a person.
Yeah, but then
this is the problem.
It's like a dowry.
This is the problem.
They're going to put it down as like a European dowry. I want this, and I'm going to pay you this because you've got debt. Let's wipe your debt out, and then I take your daughter. That's basically what a European dowry was. Royal families made themselves solvent selling off their girls because that was all that the girls were worth.
Because remember, marriage is a contract. It's a business deal.
You must also look at it this way. The most blatant thing that you see, like with Lobola and the dowry and all those type of things. I know I'm going European, but it's the best one that I personally know of to make a reference to. Okay, so now you go to the Vanderbilts. Their daughter, Consuela Vanderbilt. She is the most richest woman in the world. And the Duke needs money. He's just inherited an entire estate. He has taxes to pay on that estate. He has a roof that is leaking. He's got a moat that needs to be, ground out and redone. That takes money. Her dowry was $2.5 million in 1909. That is something like a 500 million rand today, or dollars today. Right. So what he went and did is, exactly what Angela said. A marriage between a man and a woman is supposed to make the family richer.
Yes.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That is the end of the
Yep.
line. And to make it rich is I give you my daughter, which is the basic beginning of my bloodline. No matter what men say, women are the beginning of a bloodline. They carry the womb to make the bloodline go on. So to make my name go down in history, I'm going to give you $2.5 million. You're going to take my daughter, and then that's it. I'm now the father-in-law of a duke. History is made. Whatever she pushes out is going to be the best thing from both sides of the family. But what they didn't realize is that Consuelo's father didn't like this. Not at all. Not at all. Her mother was the one who wanted this marriage. She forced her to marry the duke. She loved someone else. She wanted to marry someone else. What her father said to her is, on the day of your marriage, $100,000 a year will go into a trust, and it's got nothing to do with your husband.
Yeah.
Sinking fund.
Gave her independence.
Every woman needs a sinking fund.
And she divorced the duke 10 years later. And the reason why she could divorce him was because her father gave her a trust fund that the duke had no rights to.
Yeah.
The problem here in this, go.
Okay, if I could just say something, my biggest problem with this whole situation is, I do not know how old Consuelo was, but
19.
The moms could perhaps help me here, but I do not think any 16-year-old is equipped or taught the necessary skills to handle
I was a 16-year-old mom. I was a 16-year-old mom, so I can totally talk about it. I was pregnant at 15, had my kid at 16. And let me tell you, your body is...
You don't know shit.
Nothing.
You know nothing.
The emotional connection, you have not got the awareness, you have not got anything.
You're a child yourself.
I was a child growing up with a child.
Yeah.
And I was shunned in the country.
Yeah.
No, but you do not teach your kids to be prepared for this, do you?
No.
So that is the most horrifying part for me. It's literally like sending in a 16-year-old kid to be a soldier somewhere with no skill, no weapons, no nothing. And
lamb to the slaughter.
I don't.
Yes,
exactly. And I'm not judging people at the moment.
No.
I haven't got enough information. But
I'm judging.
if you want someone to succeed in life, if you want someone to succeed in life, should you not at least make certain that you teach them the necessary things in order to be what they want to be, instead of being what they must be because of someone else?
So I want to tell you a little bit about what I know in terms of the young, right? The reasoning behind the ages like that. So from a scientific standpoint, we know that your prefrontal cortex has not finished developing until you hit 25. If you're neurodivergent, 30.
35.
Okay?
Yeah.
35. So if you look at that as the first thing, right? From
Lee's giving us some grace here.
From the scientific standpoint. Then you look at it from an emotional side of things. When you do not know yourself, you are easier to control, to mold. I can tell you for a fact, my parents got married very young because as much as my father was a family friend, my father was told she would make a good wife. She's young, you can mold her to how you want her to be. Unfortunately for them, despite the fact that my mother was young, she's a Taurian. You can no man or beast.
Your mother, you live with her. I've seen her.
He
had no chance. He had no chance. Your dad had no chance.
this is what is believed, and that is one of the reasons as to why it's seen as a good idea. Remember, like when you watch, for example, Bridgerton, right? And you look at period dramas, you're like, I am 17 years old and I am on the shelf, because this idea of young, malleable was always something that they liked the idea of. Remember, the older a woman gets, the more steady she is in her mind. We see this all the time when they talk about women that are perimenopause are described as being feral, right? Where are you feral? How are you feral? Because you know your own mind.
Because we know our worth.
Yeah,
We know our
And
worth.
because
We know our own mind.
because of our earlier conversation, I am contemplating murder by a 5-liter sanitizer. So that's my feral side.
Listen, from someone who has been through a load in their life, and I'm 51, I have never come into my own like I did when I started my 40s. Best years of my life. Before that, a load of shit. I did not know who I was. I was manipulated a lot, taken advantage of, and this is why society gets scared and tries to push away the older woman, because they're scared of, they're scared of the crone, because we now know what we want, who we are, and how we can be as a person. And if people don't like it, we don't care. We really don't care. You know, we're a child. Even a 20-year-old is still a child. They are still easily
I cannot
manipulated.
fathom the fact that there are people that are younger than me. So this year I will be 32, right?
No,
and
baby.
I will be 32 this year, and I cannot fathom the fact that when I was 21 years old, I was planning a wedding. And as much as that wedding was gonna take 5 years to happen, even at that age, I can't fathom, because I've lived through that age. And so I know what my mind was like at that point in time. And I see other people younger than me getting into these marriages. And don't get me wrong, I'm very happy when I see people. I'm not bitter because I'm a single woman in my 30s. But whenever I see these announcements, or that pictures, like he asked, he fucked the question, and I said yes. And I'm just like, but what if he is not what he is pretending to be? And what if you are not amply prepared for it? Because what you said is so important. The woman could leave because she had that trust fund. And so the control that we see, if you're young, you don't know anything about financial planning, you don't know that you should have a sinking fund. When you want to leave, the amount of women that are literally imprisoned in their marriages because they have no money. I've heard it. I've heard people say, I would have left your father, but how would I have supported you? Where would we have gone? Where would we have gone? Because also, I don't know what it's like in other cultures, but in the Indian community, a lot of people are not welcomed back to their parents. It's like, we made your bed, you lay in it, or they feel like there's some kind of shame in society to take your daughter back. You'd rather her come home in a coffin than save her. And so I think like the important thing from that story was the father that thought ahead.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can totally relate to that, because I was one of those people, and it took me 3 years, considering I had a great job in a high profile job, making money, but he had possession of all the money that I made. It took me 3 years to save up and get away, because every door I went to got closed. So women need to be aware of, like now, there should not be an article like that in a newspaper seeking a wife between 16 and 25. How is that possible?
We're looking for a minor. We're looking for a minor. When it's a minor, that's pedophilia. I know I keep coming back to it, but I feel like that's the thing. You're not looking for an adult.
I want to touch a topic with another thing. I'm sure you ladies have seen the news, but that 6-year-old guy in Malmesbury that was caught with CSAM, and everyone is going about but you don't know as parents, where was the parents, where was this? There's so much stuff going on the internet. You can't know everything that's going on the internet, but it just shows you, even at the age of 16, because of the thing that he was a part of, the manipulation, he thought this is the way that he got involved in CSAM and so forth. And it just makes me think, like the other articles that we've been sharing in the group about that mom that sold their kid for 100 rand.
Yeah.
Then it comes back to, again, finances. That's why I'm mentioning all this stuff. Why are they doing it in the first place? Finances. There's, again, that control of finances, that maybe if I sell my kid, I can support somehow. Not just myself. Yes, it's very selfish. It's wrong. It's not right. It's totally messed up.
But historically, it's been done.
Yeah. So it's so much going on right now in the world. And it can't just be the parents' fault. It can't just be the teachers' responsibility and
it's
stuff.
The person that's the perpetuator that is to blame.
Oh, yeah.
I had an incident this week where my friend phoned me. She's a teacher. And she told me that an 18-year-old matriculant had her baby in the toilet. And when they asked her, why did she not tell anybody about this? She said she did not know she was pregnant.
Look, it happens more often than we think about it. There are instances where the baby, I think they are held closer to the spine, so you don't even see weight gain, and then suddenly you go in, you just have this really intense tummy ache, and then
especially when you're young.
Especially when
you're young. 6 months.
But
this is the whole thing of
6 months.
But this goes back to our previous conversation. I think it was Michelle, myself, and Leonie when we did that one live. It's basically that the system is failing to teach the young girls how their bodies work.
Yes. Well, this is why sex education is so important, because I remember when I was in high school and my biology teacher was telling us about this conversation she had, and she asked this girl, like, how could you be so stupid to fall pregnant? And they said, well, we thought, like, if we did this standing up, it wouldn't happen. People have this idea that if you teach young children about sex education and reproductive health, that they will suddenly be wild. That's not true. Science has shown that in places like Sweden, where they begin from kindergarten, there are lower instances of teen pregnancy, lower cases of STIs. They know what is going on. They know how to protect themselves, and they're less likely to fall victim in these types of situations. But when we fail, and this is this idea of so-called promiscuity, that sex education is not taught. And it's not bad. Even saying the word sex, it's not bad. It's not a sin. It's not ugly. It's not a bad word.
How the hell are you going to grow your humanity without it? How do you grow an entire population without it? For Christ's sake, that's how you actually propagate.
When I was in biology, I think standard 9. When I was in biology standard 9, I needed to ask the teacher to show me the diagram of a male genitalia, but we were expected to write exam on it without ever seeing it.
Yeah.
No.
There were
like the fucking boogeyman.
There were people that I met that didn't know, they were in their adult life and they didn't know the menstrual cycle. As women, they did not know the menstrual cycle. It's a failing. It is, I think, a failing in society.
Exactly. And things like endometriosis and PCOS and all those things could have been identified sooner if someone explained the cycle to them. But now we don't know, and we keep this hush-hush because it's so dirty. We don't want anyone to know about it. They keep it hush-hush
because they don't want people to enjoy it. If you think about it, it's sex is to be married and to be for reproduction, to have babies. If you're a woman,
and you're not supposed to be an active participant. So I saw this today that the idea of missionary was because that was supposed to be face to face with a woman in a submissive position, is because that was put forth as the only acceptable method. That's why, like, that's how missionary came about. That it's the
so
only
boring.
way that is.
But I mean, even as a romance writer, I'm still getting some pushback from some readers sometimes on the positions that I choose, because some of them are seen as more degrading than others, and I'm like,
where were you trained? What did you...
So try them out first before you comment. You might like
maybe
it.
you'll find something that you've lost.
I should put in the acknowledgements. Please see this book as a manual. Use when in need.
So
Reference.
I think the idea
are opposite.
The idea
People are scared
around
about
modesty, the idea around modesty is something that is very foolish because cultures around the world have not ascribed to this. There is a temple actually where, if let's say you had trouble having a child and you go to like your local wise person and they'll tell you, go on a trip, go to this temple. We do something called pradakshina, which is like you go around the space, right? And around, like, depending on which point in your life you're at, so whether you're like a single person student or you're married, there's different parts of the temple you go to. And there's erotic carvings the whole way around the temple, sculptures. And you were supposed, like, so you're struggling to have a child, go there, go around, ta-da. Because the thing is that it was not something to be ashamed of. This was supposed to be a celebration of the self, of energy. And so it's so foolish when we think about the fact that now people are so like tightly held because they're so afraid of this.
I can say
all I'm thinking about now is that sorry, Fred. So quickly, all I'm thinking about now is you are saying ta-da. If you go naked into the room and you say ta-da, it's going to work as well.
Wow.
Ta-da! I love that ta-da!
I'll take your word for it.
Ta-da!
I'm sure. Studies have shown. Okay, Leah Johnson.
Can you remember?
No, I want to say that'll only work if my husband comes in and just goes ta-da. I'm gonna be like, I'm busy reading right now.
Exactly. No. Or sometimes I get like a ding dong or whatever. I'm like, no, this is in the way.
I have a naked slipper, man. The dances are awesome.
Can you imagine?
This is why women were oftentimes not allowed to speak, or it was reframed as gossip, because within a circle of women you would gain knowledge and wisdom, and you would speak freely about these types of things. And that was something that men were very threatened by. So it was relabeled as gossip, as something with a negative connotation. Women should not associate freely. Women should be seen and not heard.
Yeah, and they should never. Yeah, they should also never ask or initiate first.
Yeah.
Big problem.
Yeah.
But there's no finesse. That's why.
What I've noticed in South Africa now, what I've noticed with like the Afrikaans culture and stuff, it is very closed off. It's very conservative. There was some other case here as well that went down, and it was Afrikaans family. And my hubby's like, but how can that happen? It's Afrikaans family. I'm like, and it actually happens more often than you know. It can be any culture, it can be anything. It's just because of the way you were brought up in that scenario. I don't know anyone else Afrikaans who can come for me, but I know because of my mom's side of the family, very conservative. Weren't allowed. No, we do not talk about that. This skanda. What? No, let's talk about it because maybe then I can understand it better and then I don't make a mistake or this. No, different. How are you meant to understand? Then I get a a scolding because I did the thing wrong. But if you showed me what to do or explained it to me, yeah, ons mag nie oor 'n praat nie, Xander.
But it's very much like
Things have happened.
It's very much like old school money in England.
Yes.
They don't talk about stuff like that. It's very prim and proper. So it's similar vibes.
But they also do not explain it properly.
They like to hide the secrets.
Yeah, because what happens is in Afrikaanslie, hulle sê die pad na 'n man se hart is deur sy maag. Okay? The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Does that mean I toss a loaf of bread at him?
That's
Put a strap on.
There's no clarification or explanation. So if you want to sprout things like that, at least give me some instructions.
So even in terms of that, right? People often wait. So the idea of like a kitchen tea. So now it's called a Hindu or like a bachelorette. But back in the day, it was the kitchen tea. So the women will all like huddle up in the kitchen over a cup of tea, and they were married women, and they're supposed to guide you along the way because you're about to get married. But then the idea of it all is that it's often like really old people. These are the people that told you like stay away from boys and everything, and all of a sudden they're gonna guide you. No, they're not.
But you know what that reminds me of? The second part of Handmaid's Tale, where you follow the daughter's life. Testament. It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
And all they do anyway is they just give you faduke and wooden spoons. I mean, that's already a red sign, people.
Depends on how big the wooden spoon is.
Yeah. It's one of those Maputo pop spoons. It's someone's gonna
bend over, get you on that St. Andrew's cross.
I don't know. Because like you know,
I didn't even have a bachelorette. Like I didn't have any of that.
So I can tell you this much, right? When I was planning to be married, and I love like an indoor pot plant, so I'm very much in my own home, and my friends are all virtually, so like how you guys are all far away. And so it was my mom and dad that said, this weekend we're taking you shopping. And I said, no, I don't need to go. And they say, no, we're taking you. And I'm like, no, I have enough. I'm fine, I'm set. And they're like, no. And initially I was horrified, okay, because I mean I grew up in like Indian society in South Africa is still very conservative. And like my parents' idea of sex education when we were younger was you take a phone, you take a charger, you put the charger in the phone, you get a battery. So I didn't understand how to don't have babies. And so now in my parents were like, we're gonna take
there's so much confusion.
I was very confused because I stood up in grade 9 in the class and I said, but how does teen pregnancy happen? Teenagers don't want to have babies. I was 15 at the time. So my parents are now saying to me that they're going to take me shopping for intimate wear. And I'm like, the part of me was horrified. But when I sat and thought about it, because like my parents are best friends, right? And so they will laugh together at me. And so when I sat and thought about it, I was like, you know, as someone that's been through SA, I'm very thankful for the fact that my parents are thinking, we want you to be confident. You're going to be in a situation where there will be intimacy. Like, you know, we want you to feel as empowered as possible. I was still horrified. I wish the ground would open up and swallow me whole. Two things are possible at the same time.
Same
you can be thankful and
Same here.
Yes, of course.
Me and my mom used to go to sex shops together. It was hilarious.
Oh, wow.
My husband and I do it. It's absolutely hilarious.
My mom was super cool.
Good.
As she got older. Sorry?
I love my mother, but I don't know if I could. Although the woman does have quite a sense of humor, because recently, as like a week and a half ago, she's telling me.
I need to hear comments as she talks and she goes through all the different things. I need to hear your mom's commentary.
She had this random comment. She says to me, a certain person we know, like, you know, she used to refer to her husband as daddy. So like it's very common in the Indian household, like they'll call it like mommy and daddy, right? So like my parents don't though. My parents call each other by their names or like ridiculous nicknames. My father is Cupcake, my mother is Snookums. But there's a funny story behind that as well. But my mother says to me, I always wondered, why did she call her husband daddy? It would make for awkward moments at certain times. And I'm like, he's like, no, my mom goes to random places. I wonder about this. And I just like, mother. Okay, but I was
got
also
6
thinking
books she's going to love.
there's also, so like, because the thing is that like I know who she's talking about, right? I know the person, and they are like in her age category. And she's like, when she first heard this, like it was years and years ago. I was still a child, and my father was there at the house for the prayer, and she hears this person calling her husband and calling him daddy, and she looks at my father. He looks at her. They both like laugh. Because they're both thinking the same thing. Like, wouldn't that make for awkwardness at certain points in time? And my mother says, like, when they're doing certain things, and I'm like, no.
I want to die.
Mommy's got some
explain
spice
to my
in
mother
her.
what a
I
double
like
ended.
mommy.
When we went into an Anne Summer shot in London, I had to explain to my mother what a strap-on was and a double-ended thing was.
How did you explain that to her? No, I need to know.
Oh, she was around the shop going like this.
Oh,
I need a man.
That is a warrior that you take into war.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she was a warrior.
Yep.
She's a little Scottish dynamite, that's for sure.
I love that. Scottish woman, like no one can tame them.
But she hated sex. I don't know how we were conceived. No idea.
Alien.
And definitely reborn
Pollination.
version.
Yes.
Artificial insemination.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's giving me
But loves
handmade
dildos and sex shops.
Yeah, that's a very interesting series. No, that series. No. And the
But
person
you know
who
what's the
wrote
thing? Sorry, Lee, you go.
No, I'm done.
Okay, you know what's the thing is, I am pro knowledge and pro trying everything. And as a woman that is going through premenopause, I'm fairly sure that's why I lock myself in the home to save the population. So, as a woman going through this, I know that my body is changing. I know there are certain things I cannot do anymore. I miss the days where I could put my foot behind my ear. It's not going to happen.
You could?
We need to. Well, people, please. I was walking every day. Anyway, but there are certain things that we need to take into consideration. You are not as young anymore. And if you want to enjoy sex in your older age, adjust. Find the things you need. Get that slippery stuff. Get the toy if you need it. Get 3. You have a choice. I mean, it's like a white shoes that night. Just make sure that the intimacy between your partner is there. Because if that's not there, no matter if you get a slip and slide, this is not going to work.
Because it does affect people massively with their sex life, and it can cause some major issues in relationships. My mom would look at my dad and want to kill him. She, during menopause, hated his guts, would not be in the same room as him. That was after my dad died. No, that's just after my dad died. She was a merry widow. But during menopause,
we all know what the blunt object was.
But that's how menopause can be so increasing. It can just mess up your life.
I think also, it's so important that when there is an issue with intimacy and desire, that people should also have a holistic approach. I know I'm speaking as a single woman, but at the same time, I see the fact that, okay, so if you've had to work a full day, you've had to come home, do the laundry, see to the kids, do the dishes, prep for the next day, there is no energy. But in families where the other partner steps in then there's energy, then there's room for desire, then you're not carrying the mental load.
You see, I can disagree with that. Because I've been that person, and I was like drier than the Sahara Desert, and sex was way off the table because the menopause was that bad. No matter how many fun goodies I brought into it, and I've got a partner who's really supportive, and we're both very sexual. It was like,
isn't that frustrating for you as a person? Isn't that frustrating for you as the woman you are?
Yeah, that must have been like so upsetting
to get yourself there, but you're not getting to. You're just staying Sahara.
It's just like this. 1 minute you're like this little sexual Duracell bunny, and the next minute it's like you're the dead Duracell bunny, and that's it. And no matter how much lube, whatever you want to put there.
Has it come back? Sorry to ask, but has it come back? Does it come
back
with
with a vengeance.
So I think this is why it's also important to nurture different aspects of intimacy, because as
it
much
changes as you grow.
Yeah, because I think other aspects of intimacy can still help hold people together when certain aspects are being more challenging for you. Like, because then you don't feel like, your partner doesn't value you because you're more than just the sex.
I don't think sex is everything, though. That is just a bonus. I think that's just for me.
It's a cherry on the top.
Yeah, it's a cherry on the top. It's the whole build up to it. It's the whole when the person walks past you, or the message, or I made dinner tonight. Thank you, even though it's not my favorite. Thanks. That kind of,
at least you didn't have to do it, man.
No. I don't mind. I love it. It gives me, in my situation, hubby loves his food. I'm sorry, I don't have the time and the effort and the love to put in that, but make me bake something. I will bake you a 3-tiered cake tonight, iced and everything. But when it comes to food, no, I like other people's food. I don't like making food, near donkey. But there's ways to show affection. It's a whole foreplay. It's not sex, it's just
foreplay is the key. With women, foreplay is the key.
I just want to mention here, I did not hear bonus with an S, but well done. Secondly, I once read this article, obviously in the Huisgenoot or somewhere, right? And
of course, Huisgenoot.
And it was about this couple that decided to have sex every day for a year. And I was so impressed with this article because even if they needed to hide in a closet or to do it hush hush while the children are taking a bath or something, they prioritized this in order to become closer. And when I read this, it wasn't about the fun time they had. It was that they made a conscious choice to put each other first. And sex is not needed for that. That is something that you can find other ways to make your partner know that. And that might even be a stronger foundation for your marriage or for your relationship than anything else.
100%. 100%. There's so many things that are outside of sex.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that the world puts so much emphasis on the actual sex deed that they forget everything else that comes before it that actually makes the sex good.
No, that's
a good fry is wonderful.
Oeh, een lekker vry is mos lekker.
A lekker vry, yes. Papa, jy eat that boerewors that eat rice. That boerewors eat rice, you eat it with everything. Lips, ears, everything.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that the world needs to talk about more. And even what you said, like whenever we last heard a woman in menopause speak about sex, or speak about the challenges, and I mean,
funny enough, Sorry, go.
No. I'm raising my hand because we just did it. Yeah.
But how many people actually will do it outside of a private space? That's also a thing. A lot of women don't tell their friends that they're going
So
through this because
I am the overbearing friend, right? So as soon as I find out that someone close to me is in a relationship, and I did this with my cousin, she's 3 years younger than me, and this was a couple of years ago. As soon as I found out that she was dating this guy, the first conversation we had, and we hadn't spoken for years, I sat her down and said, "Tell me, are you being safe? Are you guys using condoms?" And I know it's not my business, but I make it my business. Because like at least
You
I
are
opened
that
that
honest.
door. So if she needs to know
Yep.
anything at another stage, she knows that I'm someone that she can turn to. And so I feel like it's so important as women for us to have these conversations because people don't know. I mean, there are so many women who live their whole lives never experiencing pleasure. And that is an unfortunate reality. And we don't like
Yep.
we look at the fact that you can get Viagra all the time anywhere. But when have we heard about anything to assist women? Because our bodies change with menopause. The mere fact that like part of the labia disappears during menopause should teach us that there's a lot that's going on. I mean, recently there are I think it was an OBGYN I saw online mentioned that there are vulval moisturizers. And she says, like the same way that you do a moisturizer on your face, get up in there because that is what's needed. But people feel so ashamed. They feel so awkward. And then also men use that as an excuse to cheat. Like you didn't care about what she's going through emotionally. You're not taking any of the mental load off of her. You're treating her like a slave in the home. And then you're wondering why it is that you're practically raping your wife and using all of that as an excuse to cheat.
But I also think in a lot of countries, because there's still this taboo of not talking about it, not having actual shops on show about it. Like if you go into Disc Game, they've got their little shop of little vibrators like hidden right at the back. You know, their lubes, it's like hidden. And it's like, well, we're in 2026. There should not be this shame around it. You know,
Friends,
it shouldn't be.
Friends, do I have a recipe for you? So what you do is you invite your friends. Then you bake, Lee, you bake a saucy cake. And you put an amarula stroopie on top of it.
Of course, yes.
And then you sit down, you dish up a big piece for them, and then you say, "Do you taste how moist and sappig this little cake is? I've got a lube contact for you."
Well, I went and bought my
I give
friend.
the number to everyone.
I brought my friend a vibrator for her birthday, her first ever vibrator.
I'm
She
that
turned 14.
friend. I am that
I
friend.
did that as well for a friend.
Yes.
And she's like,
I got a lipstick
that.
vibrator. No.
No, I got her a proper
Oh, wow,
vibrator.
you nice.
Oh yeah, I got
nice.
a proper one. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna have a proper one. It's got the whole
right,
dolphin thing, the whole 9 yards.
So you go the whole 9 yards, or are we talking about inches? Because I'm a little concerned.
Whatever floats her boat. You know, she called it Maxwell, so whatever she does with Maxwell is down to her.
Well, seeing she gave it a name, she's enjoying it.
Part of the family.
What? So this is 8. This is 8.
Trust her to go and get a ruler.
8. So it will be like another. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep quiet on this one. Yeah, I'm gonna keep quiet on this one.
You are bragging, V. You are bragging.
No, it's not me. It's not me. No,
No, not me.
no. I was just listening.
Scottish bloodline.
Well, let me put it this way: he's not the top.
Oh, yes, girl.
Congratulations.
And I can identify with all of the. That's why I've been staying quiet, because I take it from. Obviously, I have to take it from the male point of view. The difficulty, the taboo around it, that I identify with everything you say, even though I was born a male and I identify as female. I had ED when I met my husband.
Yeah.
Because of what my grandmother scared. She petrified me towards men. She petrified me towards men. She literally petrified me towards men. To the point that when I met someone that I actually wanted to share this with, he's my first boyfriend, by the way. Met him at 26. He was my first boyfriend.
Oh.
And
stop bragging.
I'm not bragging.
It was
at the I can brag now, but at the time it was traumatic. It was traumatic.
Yeah.
I want to share this with someone, and then I'm in the act, and then it's just like this voice comes in the back of your head, and then it just.
I think that this is something that so many people can actually relate to, whether they're aware of it or not. And you see this in terms of like vaginismus, in the same way, like you can try everything, but no is no. And so what you're saying, V, is I'm so sorry that you've been through that, because you never deserved to be traumatized, and you never deserved to be in this situation where you love someone and you want to share something that is so natural, and there's a struggle.
And the thing is, I like, with everything I do, I always try and do it, be the best in the class. So
emotionally, that must have taken such a toll on you.
Yeah, you probably felt like you felt
a failure, a total failure.
And I can imagine how that felt for you. And you're not.
The one night, actually, we were in the act, and that happened, and I literally got out of bed, walked outside, and I walked 5 acres. I could not look at my husband. I could not talk to him. I could not. It was like a total disconnect. Thank God I have the husband that I have, who's patient and who's understanding. And when I explained this to him, and I'm like, this is where it's coming from. This is what's happening. This is the thing. It also, my husband, and I know I maybe shouldn't say this, but my husband takes a very long time to get there.
Oh, shame.
Not a bad thing.
No.
I feel for you, because when that moment happens and you need to go walk 500 miles, that it's like a give and take, and then you have to sit, and then it's a therapy session. But I'm sure when the success happens, it's probably like and that
when we were successful. When we were successful, it was like fucking Christmas. Like, can we do this again, please? But now it's taken my husband and myself 8 years. We've been together for 8 years to fully understand our bodies. To fully understand our bodies. And I put the pressure on myself. My husband never put the pressure on me, and I don't sexually put pressure on him. I do not, like, my husband. My husband keeps saying he has a low sex drive. He does. I have a high sex drive. That's okay.
That's also okay.
So if I'm in the mood, and then my husband can see I'm in the mood, he says, "Do you want to?" I'm like, "Are you in the mood? Do you really want to do this?" And then he goes, "No, not really." I'm like, "Okay.
Okay.
Come here. Just come cuddle. Just my husband's a cuddle bug. My husband is a cuddle bug. He's an absolute cuddle bug. Like, tonight he has a headache and he has all those things, and it's like Velcro. I'd rather have that. I'd rather have the kissing. I'd rather have the touching. I'd rather have the cuddles. I'd rather have that. And that's how we fixed me. That's how I fixed him, and that's how we helped each other. We got comfortable with the holding, because I have a problem. I don't like being touched at all.
Yeah, but you like being strangled by a corset, which I totally understand. I get it now with the whole corset. I get that you like that precious thing.
I think that comes from. I don't like being touched because my dad rejected me. I can remember being 6 years old, where he comes home from work, and I run to him with my arms stretched out, and he looks at me and walks right past me. So I can remember that. There was also an incident when I just matriculated. That was traumatic with a man, and I only came out when I had a sexually transmitted disease, and that was not under my consent. You know, I had all of that. And then my grandmother scared me towards men. And then my mother's like, why the fuck did you come out as gay? Because you hate men. I'm like, I don't hate men. I don't hate them. I don't hate them.
I like them, but they scare me.
Yeah, and I can't stand being touched.
This is why it's not a choice. People always say, oh, like, but why would you choose to? It's not a choice.
It's not a choice. And then, you know, I hated being touched. My own mother couldn't touch me. I was the baby that wanted to be put onto the knee, and the hands must not go away.
Won't touch me.
Let me be. That's part of the autistic that is in this mess. And then you have to find a partner that will actually accept that, and I did. Luckily, I did. So when I listen to ladies, and I listen to young girls, and I listen to older women, and I listen to that struggle that they are having because they weren't educated, they don't have the right partner, the person doesn't understand, the body's not doing what you want it to do. You know, people put so much pressure on you that, you know, the brain fails. When the brain fails, the body fails. When the body fails, the brain fails.
The brain is trying to keep you safe. The brain is just trying to keep you safe the only way it knows how.
Exactly. So that's why I've been quiet for most of this evening, because, you know, I've had my struggles, but, you know, it's and the thing is, and I don't want to say this because I don't want to sound like I'm trying to push it towards the male perspective, but I'm trying to push it towards the feminine men's perspective.
No, but even if it is the male perspective, it's okay, because we're supposed to learn and understand about each other.
There's this thing going around in South Africa, around actually global, absolutely global, where people think that when you are gay or LGBT or wherever you are promiscuous. Yes, we have a large community that is promiscuous.
There's
a reason for
culture,
it. It's in history. Yes. No, but what I'm talking about is there is history, but there is history there, because the reason why we have a hookup culture is because for so many years we couldn't actually express ourselves, we couldn't do anything, we couldn't hold hands. So when we found someone that was like us, it was like rabbits, baby, rabbits, and it's that thing of trying to find so many of them. So now when, you know, we are saying I have a problem, they look at you going, right?
Really? Like, really? Right? But also,
and then,
I feel like I don't know if it's more of a hookup culture than it is in heteronormative relationships or interactions. I don't think so. I feel like it's just put forth in that way to make it like, oh my God, this is so bad. Because to be honest,
kind of make it shameful.
Yes, the way that hetero people be going at random people, like it's actually more than you would find in the LGBTQ community, because, and also what people presume to be promiscuity, is it not that all your interactions are limited to is physical intimacy, because the families around them don't accept it? So how would you have
a total
marriage?
That's the whole thing. So when I relate to women about, you know, being 16 and being married and not understanding what marriage is and all those type of things, I worked in a non-profit. The non-profit failed, but I was the head of transgender affairs, and we did a lot of counseling. And a lot of the people there was a counselor that I assisted. I'm not a counselor, I assisted, because they felt comfortable with me because I look like them and I am one of them. And the counselor was a heterosexual woman. We actually made it a woman, because a lot of LGBTQ people are more comfortable with a straight woman than with a man. Yes. And a lot of the whole things that was coming around us was, the one question is, why are you looking for so much physical attention? Why are you looking for so much of this, that, and the other? And it's like, because you're not getting it because you don't get it at home. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So when a young girl says to me, I've been rejected, total rejection, I take it from that point of view. And that's why I try and, you know, help as much as I possibly can. and I try and give advice, or I try and just be that shoulder. Just be that shoulder. You don't say anything. Most of the time, that helps a lot of women. Most of the time, actually 90% of the time, shut the fuck up and just listen, because no one else is.
Yeah.
Take those lippies, make them stop moving, and just let the woman talk. Just let the woman talk.
Yeah.
And that's how I got my mother through it, because my mother didn't have a very happy marriage either. And all of these
I don't
discussions that
think
you were
very
having.
many women do, V. I'm being
No,
so
and
honest.
I wish
Yeah.
my mother had women like you that she could talk to when she was my age. Because we were talking about it today. I don't know how it came about, but it was on the radio. There was a psychologist that found out that she had that thing. They used to call it baby blues.
Okay.
Where you have your baby, yes, postpartum depression, and she was like, I'm a high clinical psychologist. I didn't even know that I had she had 3 children, and each one of them just made it worse. And she's like, she would be happy one moment, manic the one moment, and then fall down, sleep for 4 hours, and then she woke up one morning and it's like, this is not right. No one's talking about this. No one's doing this. So I turned around to my mother, who I know she had it, and she had a partner that did not. My father told my mother when she fell pregnant that she said that I told you I don't want children.
I know.
So the blame is on her. I told you I didn't want children.
Yeah.
So you better deal with
She
it.
didn't impregnate herself.
No.
Yeah, there was no pollination here. So talking about postpartum is a bit close to my heart, because I was the one who helped my mother with her postpartum depression many years later. I was in my teens, and then I realized I realized, and I said to Mom, don't, like, she realized then, and then the psychologist that was supposed to help her wanted to send her to the cuckoo's nest.
Yeah.
That's what
And
a lot
then-
of the time happened.
And then my grandmother didn't help, because that doesn't exist. You just shove it up and go on with your life. And I said to my mother, do you think that if we had a village of women, that postpartum depression would just fall away? If you actually have
Support.
a village, a fucking village. Because in a village, in the old, like back in our prehistoric days, basically now, I have met very few women, but they do come from this kind of lineage where they come from a village that when they see her struggling, they say, let me take Baba for a walk, and you have a sleep.
So-
Or, the elders step in and then they help.
Yes.
Wouldn't
So
that also alleviate that postpartum depression?
It would. It really would. For example, in China, there is a culture, it's known as confinement. So for the first 3 months, it's usually done at home. But now, like, because a lot of people live away from their families and stuff, it's called a confinement center. You go there. Someone looks after the baby full time in the same room as you. As a woman, all you do is you feed that child. Either you pump or you breastfeed. Somebody else comes in, they cook you meals, they take care of you, they help you to bathe, they give you massages. Like, if you want to hold the baby, you absolutely can, but the rest of the time there's someone to take care of that child. Now that was usually done in the home with, like, the mother-in-law, the aunts, the cousins, whoever. And that was so that the woman that had just given birth could focus entirely on her well-being, on like healing, because let's not forget the dinner plate size wound when an organ ripped out of your body in the form of the placenta. And that is, I mean, literally, everything that comes from a child was made from your body. The reason why women have osteoporosis is because the child's bones are made from your bones. So,
and going on what you're saying, and I don't want to bring the mood down anymore. I found out.
The food down, girl.
I found out when I was 12. I overheard my mom speaking to one of her then colleagues, and she was talking about her colleague was just had a child, and she had a partner that was not helping her at all, and this poor woman was literally on the verge of like, and we could see it. And her partner had alienated her from her family. I helped her through that. But I heard my mother's side of the story. My mother had me when she was 33. I weighed 4.445 kilos. I was the length of 52 centimeters. My mother had natural birth. I then got stuck on her hip. I came out with a shiner, and I tore her cervix. She lost 4 pints of blood when her placenta came out. She was then rushed. She was then actually in the surgical ward, and the last thing she heard was the surgeon saying, "I can't find it. I can't find it." My father took me and then left, and that was the last time I remember anyone saying that he held me. Then, when my mother came out of hospital, she then had this wound, and then not 6 weeks later or 9 weeks later, she got pleurisy. Now she's got scars on her lung. My dad would not change a diaper. He would not clean the house. He would not, take care of me. My mother got up, got him ready. Well, how come? Because it's not his job.
Because if you look when
he works
it was,
all day.
It would be
He works all day. My mother worked in my mother was a bookkeeper full time. She had me. My father was a hairdresser, so it was like work. So when I hear these stories, when I say I know, it's not that I've experienced it. I've seen what happens to a woman when that happens.
Yeah, you have experience behind the scenes in a different way. You are living it from a
And I know I've shared a lot of my family's past, which I might get backlash for when this goes live, and I'm waiting for it because there's a lot of things that been said about my mother, and it's kind of like when I listen to you ladies talk, I am so happy. When I become quiet when you ladies talk, it's like I want this in every house.
May I contribute just a little part here? I feel that people assume that a good relationship is dependent on sex. And that's why, especially in my circles, I find that I have some friends that have a better relationship with their best friend than with their husband.
Yes.
And
my mother's best friend is her.
Listen.
My mother's best friend. They met when I was 2. They met when I was 2 years old. My mother now lives with her. After the divorce, Caroline came to us and said, "What are we going to do now?" Mom said, "Well, got no fucking idea." Then my father was in the house. We lived with my grandmother, and then Caroline lost her job, sold everything, and we said, "You moving in with us?" And it was kind of like a non de plume. She's my godmother. She's my second mother. She's my surrogate mother. She's always been there. I can always remember Caroline being there. And that's my mother's partner. That is my mother's partner. She was the one who then opened up her house from Friday to Saturday. That my mother left our house with me, took me to Caroline's house, and we spent the weekend with Caroline because what else are we going to do?
It's Caroline.
Okay, but
we're going to have to wrap this up as well.
Yeah.
We've been an hour and a half.
So I can
this.
basically.
Basically.
I'm sorry, I
last thing I wanted to say is, when you look for happiness, sometimes you find it in little gestures. And you need to find that person that gives you the little gestures. Then you have a better chance. Yes, then you have a better chance of making 20, 60 years if you want. Because I don't know about other people, but I am not planning to drive or have strenuous exercises on 80. I'm just mentioning that.
Yep.
I think
I need the little kiss on the forehead or the little rub or the little hug when I look horrible. And that is a relationship that's going to last.
Yes.
That's my relationship.
The small gifts, the small graces, the small beauties. Even when you feel like, and some chat you out and you've been living in the sun for like 6 days, that person comes and says, "My darling, you're beautiful. Do you want a cup of coffee?"
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that this is
what makes
why it's so important to have a community of women, because
Yes.
when you help one woman, and I think we're across different generations right here, but when I speak about us, I view us as one generation. But with the power that this generation has to bring about change, not just in the next generation, but also in the generation that came before us, we're healing the wounds that we did not make in people that we've seen suffer, because we're giving them grace to heal. And
And also
VIC, that's what
breaking-
you're doing with your
And
mom.
you're also breaking the cycle of trauma. Once you
Yes.
break that cycle in, once you break it in one generation, the next generation will not feel it.
Yes.
That's what we've learned. My mother's just learned that if you break that trauma that you've been in for so long, the whole circle, the whole thing, if you break it, you will not pass it on to the next generation. The next generation has a better chance of never seeing it, or hearing about it and learning about it, but at a distance. They didn't have to experience it. And that's where the healing comes in.
100%.
You heal the next generation. You don't burden the next generation.
Well, that's what we're trying to do, right?
Exactly.
Having these conversations. But thank
This
you,
was a good
everybody,
one.
for
This was a good
another
episode.
amazing.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing
You
from
know?
your hearts. That's been so valuable.
Appreciate you all.
Thank you, thank you.
We're holding
If I can just
space for
mention
you.
one thing. I think what we should do is every day you wake up, and I know this is hard, but every day you wake up, tell one other woman 3 things that you admire of her. Any other woman.
Yes.
You might just make
Yes.
her day wonderful.
It makes the day of her life.
100%.
Yeah.
And you should rotate that, because I also want to hear wonderful things.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Night,
Good night,
everyone.
good
Have a good
morning, good
evening.
afternoon. Bye.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.